So everyone, this is a lap guide for Watkins Glen 2019 Season 1, approaching rapidly. Quite an easy track. Lap times will be really close here. They're always close at Watkins Glen. I think that's due to not only the amount of corners, which is low, but I think it's the type of corners as well, which creates this lap time closeness. Because there aren't any really slow corners on here, the effect of getting your power down in your lower gears isn't as important as somewhere like Spa, you know, like that last corner there, and places with really slow corners. I think the less slow corners on the track, the closer the lap times are. But whatever it is, lap times are pretty close here all the time, unless you run the boot configuration, which we're not. We're running the classic layout with the chicane, which is good. It's good because it means it's not going to be a processional race. There's always plenty of overtaking here. I don't mean processional as in boring, because there's no overtaking. I mean processional because there's sort of too much overtaking, really. If you get past, if you're anywhere near the guy in front of you or behind you in lap times, which you normally will be, for the reasons I just gave, you normally get past down the straight, and then you'll normally do the same thing to the other guy on the next lap. So this layout with the chicane sort of hides that a bit, because you can get a bit of a gap, or it's not as easy to pass. That's how I should say it. And that is the right reason. It's not as easy to pass here along the straight. There's a couple of really important things to make sure you've got right at this track, and I know I keep banging on about second gear, how important your second gear is in this car. This was equally as important here as it is anywhere else, especially out of turn 1. Even though there's only a short run down to the start of the S's, but it gives you a huge advantage if you've got a really good second gear through turn 1. The other thing is how to set your car up here. I always set my car up here to be fast up the S's. If you're fast up the S's, you're normally fast anywhere at this track. And if you are fast up the S's, it gives you a big advantage to make a pass or to stop the pass happening. So I've already set my gears for this track. Oh yeah, one thing before I start going out on track and actually driving. I think the weather update we've got this build, I think that's massively important in this car. It probably is in a lot of cars on the service. I'm not sure what effect tyre pressures have on other cars, but everyone knows here it's got quite a big effect on the car and how the car handles. This car doesn't like tyres being too cold because it gets a bit snappy, and it doesn't like tyres too hot because it just feels rubbish. I was going to say something now, I can't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, so these, basically everyone sort of knows the rule. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to say. I don't think the car has changed this season in the new build. I haven't run it really a long time, but you know, from what I've run in it, it feels the same to me. So yeah, getting on to the weather. Sorry, I'm tired. I work for a living. Getting onto this weather system. Let me just go ahead. I've got default weather set up at the moment, but I've not got it on partly cloudy. I've got it on mostly cloudy, which sort of means it doesn't really mean mostly cloudy to me. Mostly cloudy to me means sort of getting on for overcast. I suppose that's, that's the way I would say something is mostly cloudy. I'd say this is about 50-50 at the moment. So I'm just going to go and check the temperature. Right, the track temp at the moment is, well, it's now 102. When I started that sentence, it was 103. So it's gone down to 102 now. I'm just looking at the front straight. It's dark in shadow. Right, it's gone down to 101 now. So that gives you an idea of how quick the track cools down. This build, like I say, I think is massively important for us this season. Let me just get out of the and I can physically see that the whole circuit has gone darker because there's a big old cloud covering the sun. I think if the weather system is as important as I think it's going to be this season, I think people with VR headsets have got a massive advantage because I was just sitting in the car on the pit lane, and I'm able to look up and see where the sun is, and I'm actually able to look up and see what sort of clouds are going to come and cover over the sun. Let's just go ahead and have a look at the track temperature again. 97. This track cools down really quickly. So that's gone from 106, I think it was when I first started the video, down to 97. It's nearly lost 10 degrees in the space of about 4 or 5 minutes. And everyone knows that, tyres set for 100 plus degrees ain't really going to work in settings, at minus 90 degrees. Not minus 90 degrees, I mean under 90 degrees. So, if you get down to 90 degrees, you're not going to be wanting to run at 19 PSI tyres. You're going to be definitely on 18.5s. You get anywhere down lower than that, down to under 80 degrees, you're going to be thinking about running 18s on the side of the car, which doesn't do much work, i.e. the right side tyres at this track. So it is massively important, I think, anyway. I think you're going to see people looking at the track temperature and thinking, oh, okay, 19 degrees, 104 degrees, say for argument's sake. Okay, I'll set 19 PSI all around the car. Then all of a sudden, a huge, great big cloud covers the track, and the track goes down to 87 degrees. Let's just have a quick look, see what it's on now. It's on 92 now. That's 18.5 PSI territory. The car ain't going to feel nice at 19 PSI at 92 degrees track temperature. So you're going to get people coming in at 19 degrees, and what's going to happen to the car is, I can't remember which way round it is now, your tyres are going to overheat, I think. Yeah, I think they're going to overheat. You're going to be well over 21 degrees last hot pressure, 21 PSI. You might even be at 21.5 PSI. The car doesn't feel good at that pressure on any of your tyres. So I'm just looking up now. The cloud that is going over the sun now is absolutely enormous. And I can't see that moving and then there's another cloud behind it. This is what I'm saying about people with Rifts or people with VR headsets. I'm just going to get in the car and just have a little test. Alright, yeah, so as I'm sitting here in the pit lane, the sun's up to my left. It's pretty much right overhead, but it's to the left-hand side of me-ish. Now, the clouds, let me just check which direction they're going. Right, the clouds are coming from turn 1 and going down to the last turn. Now, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if the clouds are the same on your replay, or I don't know how they've done it, but I can tell you now, this cloud is going to be covering the sun up for 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. Let's just have a look at the track temperature. I reckon it's going to be under 90 degrees. Right, track temperature now is 87 degrees. You will not want to run this car on 19 psi at 87 degrees track temperature. And as you can see, if you've got the same setup as me, I don't know if this works in replay. If it's the same, it should be. But as you can see, the track is just fully in shadow. I'm looking at the guy in the pits now to my right. There's just a slight shadow. This track is almost overcast. So bear in mind that I don't think it's going to happen in a partly cloudy session. I did try that first of all, and there were so few clouds that, and that was default weather with partly cloudy clouds, and there was no chance any clouds were going to cover the sun. It was just like those little tiny odd clouds in them, all on their own. What you ever say, if you're with your girlfriend, you always say, "Oh look, there's only one little tiny cloud up there." Oh. But if you're with your mates, you would never say anything like that, because that's just wrong. So, so right now there's huge clouds. There's a massive, I think this cloud is going to be all the way through this video. In fact, I won't finish the video until the cloud's gone, and then you'll know how long it took there. So it stayed for. Alright, I've got 19 psi in the car. I will run 19 psi now just to see, because this is my point. If any of us came into this session now, if this was the race, we'd have looked at the track temperature, it would have said 106 degrees, that's what it was at, and everyone would have set 19 psi. And only me would have looked up and looked at the sun crossing the clouds crossing the sun rather, and thought, maybe I'll try 18.5. So there you go. I think it's pretty important. I think it's massively important. This could be one of the most defining things this season. Track temperature. I'll give you an idea why. At the moment, as the car is, if it is the same as last season, which I'm pretty sure it is, I'd normally set up, say, 60-65 power ramp at this track only. 60-65 power ramp. If we was running at 106 degrees, which I was when I came into this session, I'd run 19 psi's on the whole car. Might even try 19.5s on the right hand side, because all the turns are rights, so there's no weight on the right tyres. There's only a couple of left hand turns. So I might even try 19.5 psi on the right hand side. 60 to 65 power ramp, probably, and that's probably all I would do. That's probably the only settings that I would change if the weather changed. So if I'd have joined this session now, and I'll guarantee you the track is probably at about 84 degrees now, so I would run 18.5s on the left, maybe 19s on the right, maybe 18.5s, I don't know, I'm not sure, we'll have to test this week. But the difference is my power ramp would probably be 45 to 50. Just on the power ramp, and that gives you a massive advantage coming off the slow corners. I even think that, oh no, it's the other way around, I was going to say, it's the other way around. So, so if you do set up for colder weather, if you set up and we've got like a mostly cloudy session, which this is, and there's a big shadow on the track, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, right, the track's in, the track's overcast looking, yeah, mostly cloudy, but blah, 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 and all the rest of it, and you set up for 40, 45 power ramp, or 50 power ramp, and, 18.5 tyres and all the rest of it, then all of a sudden the sun comes out, and then 2 laps later we're at 106, 110 degrees. The car is going to be undrivable. You are going to have no confidence whatsoever getting on the power out of all the slow corners. So that's my take on the weather. Personally, I think they should have sorted out the tyres really first before they sorted the weather out. Well, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if it will be that important. What if it ain't? Then there you go. It doesn't matter. But as it stands, I mean, last season, I'm only going off of last season because that's the latest time I've tried the car in a race situation. As it stands, you know, the tyre grip, the grip level was completely through the roof in a cold session compared to a hot session, which has always been, I think it's always been since we had the new tyre model. I don't think it happened like that on the old tyre model. I can't remember. Oh, the weather was constant back then, wasn't it? That's why. So there we go. That's my take on this weather. See this cloud now. I'd say the cloud is about a third of the way across the track now. So how long would we have been racing now? We would have probably done about 8 or 9 laps now. You know, from joining the session and qualifying and then starting the race, we'd probably be a good about 7 or 8 laps into the race now. And all these poor geezers running on 19 PSIs. You know, if the tyres still behave like they did last season, you're going to be in for a bit of a shock. So, let's start the engine on this bad boy and give it full beans. Or just drive it. That's probably best. Right, I've got that set up to do that. I've turned off the automatic starter and all that lot, so that's the first thing I'm going to change. First thing I will say, this false feedback update when you're sat in the pits or when your car's not moving, this feels exactly how a car feels when it's just sat doing nothing. You know, the steering's so rock hard, so hard to turn the steering when the car's not moving. It's good. I like that. I like anything that's more realistic. So I'm going to go through some brake markers. Like I say, well, I haven't said, but this was my Nürburgring setup. I think it still is. Apart from the gears, I've sorted the gears out on it. Another thing, I know Billy Bob said this the other day about brake markers. If you're like me and you use shadows for brake markers, learn a different method because they ain't going to work this season. When the shadows come across the track, your brake markers have gone. So, something to watch out for. So like I said, yeah, so what I'll do, I'm going to go through a little bit of how I set the car up for this place. See if I can get that done. No, that was good. The whole straight there was in sunlight and this part's in darkness. So, I'm not sure if this... I think this is a bit brighter down here as well. I don't know, it might just be the track zone. Oh no, this is darker now. Wow, I don't think this was like this the other day, you know, pre the hot fix that they did the other day. Anyway, okay, so that changes things a bit then, because look how dark it is here. I mean, I don't know if you can, right, if I sit here, right, I'll just tell you, for people that haven't got VR and they're not able to look around, but as I sit here now, that cloud that is over the car, that has been there since I started the session. This session started at 106 degrees. I guarantee you it's around 80 degrees now. It's lost 20 degrees, track temperature I'm talking about. So, which is what I'm saying, so. And then you've got, like, if you notice then, the end of that cloud, then there's a bit of blue, and then I don't know how far away that other cloud is, but it probably, so the race will probably start, you know, this race would have started in overcast conditions at around 80 degrees, and by the time we get to finish the race, it'll be in that blue sky, because that's where the direction of the car now, that's where the weather's coming from. So all those clouds down there, that's where they're coming from. Right, while I'm here, I'll just do what I normally do, and I'll just check my first gear, which I've already done, but I'll show you what my first gear's like, and we'll try and spot a braking point. When I do this when I normally check to see where my brake marker is for turn 1, I normally run down the inside of the track. I just want to put the car somewhere where I'm never going to have the car when I'm practicing. Obviously you don't practice running down the inside of the track here and spotting a brake marker, so it's always good to try and do it. So I've got my first gear set up so I can actually absolutely floor the car. It probably won't even spin in this dark track now, but anyway, we'll see. But, so this first gear, right, here's a test. So this first gear was absolutely nailed at 100 plus degrees. The revs dropped down and then there was a nice bit of wheel spin all the way till where the tyres gripped, and then it just went up. You know, there was no bogging down and it weren't wheel spinning too much. It didn't have to lift off. You know, it was right in the sweet spot. So let's just see what happens now. I'm guessing the wheel spin's going to be less, and it might even bog down a bit. So let's try it. So full power. Let's do that now. Oh no, there's more. Right, there's more wheel spin. Much more wheel spin. So that just shows you how much different it is. So what does that mean? So there's less grip. There's less grip. The track's gone dark. The track's gone colder, and there's less grip. Have they changed that then? Is that changed? Because you know, it's normally the other way around, isn't it? Less track heat. It means more grip. Okay, worry about that during the week. Anyway, brake marker for turn 1. As you're running down the straight, run in there, run down this white line, not over the white line, just on the white line. There's your brake marker. Your brake marker is slightly before that caution light there, or whatever that light is. For anyone watching this video, if anyone's watched this video, and I'm going to ask you lot, right, I'm going to say, did you watch the video? You see me in a practice session asking you if you saw the video. There's a reason why I'm asking you. I'm only joking. If I ask you if you watched the video, that means you're in a practice session and you're driving down the straight down here and you're braking 3 car lengths from the left hand side. Don't do it. Do not do it. If you watch these videos, run down the outside of the track. So that was your brake marker. Run down the white line, stay on the white line. If you can get over the white line slightly, if you look, if you're in chase view or whatever, just look where my front wheel is now, it's over the white line. Second gear, this is where your second gear has to be absolutely spot on. Turn in, don't take too much of this curb. This is about as much as you want to take of this curb, late apex. Don't run on that middle part, that smooth part there. Definitely don't run on that edge there. It just upsets the car for this exit. Don't take too much of this exit curb. As you come down here, when you want to turn into that first turn of the S's, you want to run slightly wide. You want to get your car over there. Doesn't matter if you hit a lump of grass on the edge there. Now you know why my incidents are so high every second. Right, take a bit of curb on the right hand side. Run tight to this curb on the right. Still tight, and as soon as see where that area goes really dark there, right on the end of this curb here, right on the end of that yellow paint, that's where you turn to the left. Now it doesn't actually matter if you hit this curb too much, because although it does upset the car, it seems to it gives you such a better line that even though it's upset the rear end of the car, you've got such a better line coming into this right-hander for the last part of the S's. So it's probably exactly the same as if you get that corner right. So don't worry about if you mess that one up. This is the most important one. You've got to really be careful on power here, because it's really easy to run wide and hit that blue armco on the right hand side there, just about here somewhere. And what happens is the car jumps up in the air most of the time. If you hit it with the front wheel, the car jumps up in the air. If you hit it with the rear wheel, you might get lucky and be able to hold the slide. So as you come out here, obviously you're around full power now, 4th gear. Try and take a little tiny tickle of that curb there. But here's where you don't want to run wide. So your car's flying out here. Try not to take grass. Don't touch grass. stay off my lawn. That's what Mr. Watkins is saying to you all the time at this place. Stay off my lawn. There's your brake marker. I think it's just before that caution light. So as you brake hard, you turn in really early for this first one. Second gear, I'm pretty sure, might be third gear. We'll see what's going on at full speed. I think you can take as much as that amount of curb. Now in slower cars, what happens is, because they're literally going slower, they come all the way out here. You don't want to do that in your 49 because the speed's so much higher. You need to take, well, I don't know if it is because of the speed's higher, because a lot of the times we're not going that much faster down around corners, but maybe just because of the way the car handles, you want to hold a tight line here. You don't want to run this extra bit of weird pavement on the right hand wheel there. You just want to stay left, take a load of this curb, and then take a load of this curb. And again, you stay tight here as well, you sort of let the car drift out to about the middle of the track, and then there's loads of different lines you can take around here. The only thing you've got to watch out for on this corner is if you leave a big enough gap to someone to dive down the inside, because it's one of these corners where if you leave a gap, say even that much, if you're going for a late apex, if you've got someone right behind you now and you're going for a late apex, they can floor it and get inside you here, because their car will still hold the grip. It'll actually sort of lose the rear end. If the driver's got any sort of skill behind you when he's on power, he'll be able to get his foot down and dive down his inside and then slow down. You'll be forced out here, and that's the end of your position. So if you've got a car right behind you, try and keep a really tight line here. Don't worry about having a late apex or whatever you want to do there. Just stay tight, and even to the point of you can stay tight on the initial part. Let's just go back and show you what I'm talking about. I should have just done it. I should have just spun it round. Right, so you're flying down here in second gear, so you turn into there, just hold this like this. Hold it on just the other side of the yellow line, and then you can come out here and then cut across the late apex. That's the safest way to take that corner if you've got someone right behind you. And it's not that much slower than taking the optimal line. The brake marker for here, I'm pretty sure is just before that grass. Just about there. Pretty sure it's just before the grass verge. As you come down here on the brakes, again, I'm going to ask you if you watch my videos. Did you watch my video, Mr. Did you watch my video? Yes, Mick, I watched your videos. So what are you doing over here then? Why are you braking down here in the middle of the track? I'm only joking. So as you're braking, your front tyre wants to be over this white line. The reason why it wants to be over this white line is because where you see that grass cutting into the white line there, that's your turning point, right there. It's not easy to do, you know. It's not easy to run over that white line because, especially if you've got a low brake bias. I'm joking. I'm not going to ask anyone if they've watched my videos. I'm just being a twat, as they say in England. So if you're running like a, insanely low brake bias and all the rest of it, you run wherever the hell you want. I tell you what, do run wherever you want. You pay to be on the track as well as me. If I want to run out the outside white line, yeah, fine. You don't have to do it. Mick, son off, I don't give a shit about it. Sorry. Right, so, second gear corner, take a bit of curve here, that little point of that curve, see where the point is there? You can nab that there, that's not going to slow you down. So you're still in second gear, car runs out wide here, try not to take too much of this curve because it hurts. That's the best way to say it, just hurts. And then you slow down again. I think there's a brake marker around here. This is a tough corner. Again, get out of this white line. It's got to be the reason why they've put this, cut the grass back here. You know, because probably back in the day, people were taking this line. There probably was mud and dirt there and crap. You know, maybe they've turfed it and just thought, oh, we might as well just put this out here because people are going to run on it anyway. That's my guess anyway. Just letting you know, that cloud is still not past the sun. I'd say it's 2/3 of the way past the sun. We'd definitely be over half the distance now in the race. So let me get out while I'm here. Let's get out and check this track temperature. Okay, track temperature is at 78 degrees. Right, the car started. Reminds me of being at work. So, yeah, hold on, let me just have a look. There's still a fair chunk of this cloud to go, I'll tell you that. I'd say it's more than 2/3 over the track. So this is what I'm saying. Even people that would have seen that and set up for colder weather, you're still going to be running the last 5 laps in 100+ degrees track temperature. So yeah, so I reckon it's pretty important. So now let's try and get up to speed, and you'll get an idea of just get an idea of I'm just going to run sort of around this speed. You'll just get an idea of what line to take. So like I say, take the curve on the right there, all the way out to the left. Don't go on the grass, but a little touch like that doesn't matter. Watch for the little marker over there. Down the second. Take a massive amount of curve on this first one. That much. This one as well. Stay to the left, look. Big chunk of curve. Big chunk of curve to the middle of the track. Then back onto the right hand curve. Run this curve if you can. Then go to the late apex. There it is. There. Then watch for that bit where the grass starts. There. The brake marker's slightly before it. Oh, this is 3rd gear. There's your brake marker. I'll run over the white line, look. Late apex there. Don't take too much curve on the exit. In fact, don't take any. Watch for this marker line. And it is there. Down the second. On the white line, I've messed that up. Don't worry about that. Turning early, all of this curve, that's pretty good. Bit of that curve, you can see where it upset the car, but like I said, if you're ready for it, it's not slower. You can get away with that. Brake on the marker like there. It's going to be 3rd gear entry, then 2nd gear right in the middle of the chicane, up to 3rd gear again, then probably down to 2nd again. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's about as much room as you want to have going into that corner. I think what's it goes. Watch for the grass. Over the white line there. 3rd gear. Nibble of that curve there. Touch of the exit. Over the white line again. I'll mess that up again. Over the white line there. Run down the white line all the way down the start finish straight. Brake. Missed that apex a little bit there. That's better than taking too much of it. You just run it like that. Chunk of curb, turn into the yellow line. Brake on the light. Over the massive chunk of curb. Still in 3rd gear really, right? So that's probably going to be a 3rd gear corner for me. Late apex. And I think the sun's just starting to come out of the trees. Over the white line there. miss the apex. Well, I'm not telling you to miss the apex, I'm just saying I missed the apex. Over a white line there. That was a little bit too early on the turn-in, but that was the right amount of curb. Over that little curve, bit of path on the right, left, sorry there. We've got a pretty good power ramp now for this, for the S's there. Oh, I'm running out of fuel. Alright, so let's try and get some... Before I run out of fuel, let's try and build up a bit more speed. So this looks third gear, so you see how early I was turning in there, that's alright. Put my foot to the floor from the corner exit there. Nice bit of sliding, move the car around over the white line. That's pretty good, a little bit too much sliding on the entry there. Down a second, I missed the white line. I'm not sure you do hit that white line in the last corner. I always thought you did. Oh no, you're just to the right hand side of the white line on the entry in the last corner. Oh. That's pretty good there, that amount of curb. 2 tenths up now. I'm driving faster though, in general. Got to stay to the right there for this entry for this one. That's the secret of these S's. If you miss that second S, then you're pile of S. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be third gear all the way through. Maybe not, I don't know. Late apex again, there. Just a little bit too tail happy. Oh, this is what I think's happening with the car. I think it's set up for hot weather, so being really careful on the power. Right, just something. Yeah, you just run to the right hand side. That's the best line there. Just stay to the right hand side. The white line there in the last turn. Can't go up right over it. There we go. That's pretty good. That was a little bit too much curve on the apex there. But here's what I'm talking about. You've got to stay right here. Stay right, and then turn in left. I'll show you what happens when you don't watch my videos. So yeah, a few people will be doing this week through there. Okay, it's better. That's better. That's a better line. Still just enough on the right hand side there to stop someone going down the inside of you. Where the car just went wide and right in the middle of that turn, that's where someone will dive up the inside. Even though you're both right in the turn, you know, you're both off the power, someone can put their foot hard down on the gas. I'll try and prove that in a minute. Probably go wrong, but I'll try anyway. Right, and I'll just show you what happens when you get this, the middle part of the S is wrong, or if you don't take the right line. So everyone knows that you go through this first one like this. But a lot of people do this. They say that here like that, and then turn into the next one here. And look at the difference that it completely messed me up for the last part of it. So that's how much slower I'm going to have to go through that if I don't stay to the right on the second part of the S's there. So let's have a look. Go what happens here. So third gear. So someone's gone wide now. Put your foot down, and now your back wheel's alongside the other guy. Because if you put your foot down hard enough, the rear end will go, and it will still hold you into the right hand side of the corner. That's how you get away with making a pass there. And you won't be in front there, but you'll be fighting for position. So just watch out for that. So if someone's right behind you, you've got to cover that right hand side. It doesn't matter if you're going to be slower down the next straight, because you can always defend on the inside there. So watch the line again, stay right, all the way to the end there. All the way to the end of the yellow line. Now it seems like I turned in early there, it's just because I'm going slow, just because I wanted to show you how much you're staying to the right there. So again, I'll try and show you again what can happen. So there's a car right in front of my nose now. We've both gone into the corner. He's run wide. I smashed my foot on the floor. Look, the car does run a little bit wide, but you can nail it. You can do it. Maybe I'm doing it too much just to prove the point and show you what it's like. I think I've got one more lap left in the tank. So just watch that line through the S's again. See, I'm running all the way down the line. That's all you got to do, just stay on that line. Then turn in, late apex-ish, not too much curb. Stay all the way to the right, all the way along that yellow line until it turns white. There, that's the perfect line through the S's. It makes, now I've got my foot hard down, I'm going to run wide, but no, I'm not. Let me just try and show you again. Here, I'll try and show you like what a normal amount of throttle is here. So again, picture the car in front. He's run slightly wide. There you go. I'm still, you know, 3 feet away from the right hand side. So if the car in front of you has run a little bit wide, going for a, you know, if they've messed the corner up or if they always go for a late, just watch out for people. You know, there's people you're fighting. They always go for a late apex there. So, let me get some fuel in the car. Show you what I mean. Again. So again, we'd be we'd be over 2/3 of the way through the race now. And like I say, everyone would have seen 106 degrees when we first started the race. And there's a massive gap between the end of this cloud now and that cloud down there, which is off to the front of the car. That's never going to be involved in the race, that one. But the one that just covered the whole track, it's only just starting to get light now. The sun's just poking out the edge of it. So the track's going to go up to at least 106 degrees. So we'd be getting to the end of the race now. Everyone would be on 19 PSI, would be like all over the place. Probably. I'm just trying to start the car again. This really reminds me of work. That shit happens to me every day of the week. Anyway. So what was I going to do? Oh right, okay, I don't know what I was going to do. Right, so the track's brightening up now, so we're going to get a bit more heat into the track now. So I'll show you what some people like to do. There we go, the sun's come right out now, look. Track's in blazing sunshine now. So you'll see a lot of people running this type of line. So through here, they might do this, run really wide there, and then they'll do this. They'll enter this corner from here. And the reason they're doing it is because they want to lay apex and they want to nail it as much as that to get down it, and you don't really lose time. So that's why you will see people doing it. And if the person in front of you is doing it because he hasn't watched my video, you're going to be able to nail him because you're going to be able to... Now when I mean floor it, I mean you have to really floor it. I mean floor it as hard and as fast as you can. If you do it slowly, the rear wheels are going to grip and you're just going to get a bag of understeer. You're just going to get a smelly bit of understeer and you're just going to crash into them and you're going to look like an idiot. So you have to do it as hard and as fast as you can. This setup isn't really set up yet. The power ramp isn't set up high enough low enough really, I should say. The back end's still got too much push in it. So I'm just going to try and show you one more time. So run tight, guys on the outside of you now, a little bit of a, there you go, you can put your foot down, then your back wheel's inside of his front wheel now, and you've got a fighting chance down here. Is there anything else I can think of to tell you about? I don't know. Setup wise, just really concentrate on the S's. That's my advice for this, how to set up the car for this week. By that I mean you don't want to be set up about a 60 power ramp and just see if you can get through the first part of the S's. So obviously down here, so you got your foot to the floor down here, foot to the floor, off the floor on the brakes. Now you'll be feathering the throttle here, you won't be full power here, you won't be full power here, but what you want to do is you want to set your power ramp up to be as early on power as you can be as you're coming over this. So I think it's normally about here where you can get on power, but if you say you're using a 60 power ramp, you might find that your car just sort of understeers out over this sort of area. So if it does, drop it down to 55. If you're at 55 and you're flooring it, and you're getting a nice line, don't settle for it. Go to 50, just see what happens. And if you can handle a 50 power ramp, which you should be able to, try a 45. I don't think anyone will go for a 45, mate, but try it anyway. Just try it just to see what happens when you have a 45 power ramp, and obviously you're not going to be able to get on power as quick as you can. As much as you can. You're not going to be able to put your foot, you're not going to be able to plant your foot all the way down with a 45 power ramp. If you could only just do it with a 50, it's going to make that harder, but you'll just get an idea of why your power ramp does what it does. Because always remember, your power ramp does not cause oversteer. First and foremost, the power ramp, a lower power ramp causes understeer when you put your foot down. It only causes oversteer when you break both wheels loose. And that's the secret. That's the secret to running a low power ramp. You have to get the rear wheels to break loose before you get any benefit from a lower power ramp. And it doesn't have to be a massive amount. It comes down to all what I said about, especially at Silverstone, that kink at Silverstone where I said you've got to get your foot down hard and get the steering straight. Get the steering so it's pretty much straight through the corner. Your power ramp does that, and obviously your driving practice and your skill does that, learning how to do it, but you're not going to be able to do it with a high power ramp. So that's my advice. Just set up for these corners here, what I'm sitting on now, the S's, and just practice the hell out of these three corners. Like I say, don't run down the middle of the track anywhere on this track. When you're coming into these S's, run down that. Like I said, just to show you again once more. Go the other side of that. Oh god. Just going to show you. So as you turn in there, hit the apex. This is the apex here. The apex is miles before the end of the turn. So just remember, just stay to the right hand side along that yellow line. Don't run out here. Do not turn in from here. Do not let the car away from that yellow line. It's so much slower, and it's harder to get through. It's so much harder to get through those last two corners if you turn in from over there. Your car has to be meeting the end of this yellow line here. You watch any of the fast drivers this week, every single one of them will be on this yellow line, right to that point there. This is your turning point. Such an easy marker to keep in your mind, you know, as you're coming down here. You know, get to the end of the yellow line, turn in. It's perfect. You can see how good it is there, look. And there's your apex for the next part, the end of this curve. All that happens if you turn in early there. So if you, for argument's sake, if you always run this line, what I'm telling you to run, if you always run down this yellow line, and say for argument's sake, you run down here and you're at 150 miles an hour. If you turn in, you'll make it round the corner as you normally do, because that's what you've been practicing. If you mess this first one up, and your car is here, you know, on the car width away from the yellow line. If you're at 150 miles an hour now, and you turn in, you still turned in at the same distance from the apex, but because it's so much tighter, if you're still running at 150 miles an hour, like you've been practicing all week, and you go for this turning point, the only thing that's going to happen is your car's going to understeer. You can already see how bad the line is. Your car's going to do that. That's all that's going to happen. So that's the one thing you have to do. That is the most important part of this week. Just nail that yellow line. Do not turn into that second apex until you reach the end of that yellow line. And if that means you've got to come off the power earlier to do it, then do it, because it's faster. Slow in, fast out. That is the whole thing behind that saying. Everyone knows that saying. Not many people know how to put that into practice, and it's fair enough. You know, like I say, we don't feel. It's always said this, and I always believe this. Don't ever think, if you're one of the slow guys, or if you're struggling here in any of these cars or whatever, like, don't ever think to yourself that you're a bad driver. I guarantee you, the only reason people are fast on iRace or any sim compared to other people is they can how do I put this? They can guess what the G forces are like on the car. They can guess what forces are going through the car by sort of, you know, perspective of what's going on around them, and looking at the track and listening to the tyres and knowing how much steering input and feeling the force feedback. That is the only reason why people are better on a sim. I guarantee you, a lot of slow guys in any car or any sim would shock the hell out of people in real life, because a lot of drivers go off of the G-forces, what's going on in the car. A lot of them do that. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I mean, I know that's true. I know that I've seen guys that hate sim racing. I know one guy, and I'm telling you now, this is a true story. I know one guy, a very close friend of mine who I speak to good few times a week. Doesn't live too far away from me. Always see him. He's another drummer. That's how I got to know him. He was offered a drive in the British Touring Car Championship in around the early 90s. Well, I don't know when it was around that, but it was around the time Peugeot were in the British Touring Car Championship, because he got offered a drive in that car. You can take it from me, this guy knows how to drive. He's driven me around Brands Hatch in, it was a Golf VR6, remember it. The guy knows what he's doing behind the wheel. Put him on iRacing, he hates it. He absolutely hates it. He cannot get on with it. He doesn't like it. He's slow, he's rubbish. He can't even drive to 49. He can't even get it out of the pits. You know, he's terrible. You know, and he just gets off of it and he just says, Mick, it's, you know, I hate it. You know, and that's just how he is. You know, but I guarantee you, if he had gone into the Touring Cars Championship, he wouldn't have done too badly. I know that for a fact. The reason he didn't is because they wanted a big chunk of money off of him, and he couldn't sell his house to do it. So that's my mate Steve. So that's the end of the video. Stick to that yellow line on the way into the S's, in the middle of the S's. Stay to that yellow line. You do that, no one's going to get past you down the end of this straight. Good luck, guys, and I shall see you on track. Again, always ready to help anyone. If you need any help, if you see me in a practice session, which you will do quite a lot this week, if you need any help with anything, just shout me and I'll give you a hand. I'll always share your set, as will most of the guys here. In fact, all of the guys here will share your set. So don't be worried about asking for sets or anything like that, or help from anyone. I don't know anyone who won't help in this car. Yeah, good luck, and any new guys out there who are just starting the Lotus 49, welcome to the best series on the planet Earth.